Hi guys, in this video we will be seeing generalized stock prediction and forecasting using LSTM in detail with Python implementation. To start with, let me import all the required packages and libraries. In these packages, NSP with GetHistory is used to retrieve financial data for a particular stock for analysis. Keras is a deep learning API runs on top of TensorFlow framework. Core data structures of Keras are layers and models. Simplest type of model is a sequential model, a linear stack of layers. It groups a linear stack of layers into a tf.keras.model. Then implements the operation and is for output. It represents densely connected neural network layer. LSTM is a long short-term memory layer. Dropout ensures that no values are dropped during inference, and when using model.fit, training will be automatically set to true. Graph objects from Plotly are used to draw candlestick, OHLC plots. PY object is created to have iPlot and interactive plot. To evaluate performance metrics, RMSE for training data and testing data is used. To find the square root of MSE, math library is imported, and to convert the user input in the required file format, datetime library is used. So now it is executing. Let us wait for a minute. Now all the related packages have been loaded. Now to generalize a stated task, let us first get the stock name from the user. And also we'll get the start and end date with minimum 6 years of data as input. The stock name is Exide End. So this you can find it in the NSE/PY or National Stock Exchange website. So we'll just start taking the start date for historical data as 2014 6, 3. And the end date is 2020, 6, 4. So this will be the historical data and assigned to hist underscore stock underscore data variable. Then H data is created to hold the related columns. So now let us execute this. Now close value alone is assigned to DF1. Now let us plot the historical data. In order to pre-process the date, let us do the feature scaling. to scale the data between 0 and 1 before feeding it to the neural network so as to gain optimal performance. Now the fit is made after reshaping the array. Now length of DFN, that is len is a built-in function used to find out the total number of records in DFN. So that we are assigning it to training underscore size variable in order to know the size of training data. So let us just display and check. So the training size is 480. Let me now enter the start and end date of next 1 year date and consider it as test data. So the start date could be 2020, 6, 5 and end date could be 2021, 6, 3. Now, let us just execute this test data frame. Now we'll just assign the index to the date column, after which we'll just find the test size using len of test data frame in order to know the number of records in test data. Test underscore size. So 250 records are there in the test data. Now in the test data, let us assign the close value. Okay, and before which we'll just have the train data and test data with the training size and test size. Now this command test data equal to test data frame dot ilog colon comma, that is all the records it will take, and the 7th to 8th, that particular column gives us the close value. So this is being assigned to test underscore data. So this is another variable. Now, as we have done feature scaling and reshaping earlier, let us do the same for test data as well. And do the fitment. Now convert an array of values into a dataset matrix and reshape it. Now xtrain and xtest will hold 100 values. So this xtrain and xtest are NumPy arrays. Now let us reshape it. Now let us build the stacked LSTM model. Now, as we are getting warnings like this, we have to rerun this piece of code once again to be error free. Now compile and fit the model with the training data. So this fit command will take this X-train, Y-train validation data. And for the validation data for X-test and Y-test, we have taken. And it will just have 50 epochs. And the batch size will be 33. So this epoch has been started to run. So this will take some couple of minutes. So like 49/50 is executing now. So the last epoch is being executed now. Yes, guys. So please remember that this model is not for investing money in trading, but intended for educational purposes only. So the execution is over now. Now let us do the prediction and check RMSE performance metrics and do inverse trailing to transform back to original form. So here X-train and X-test are NumPy arrays. So it is executing, guys. Now we are doing inverse scaling to transform back to original form as we did earlier. So we are finding in the train data RMSE. So it is 175.48. Now let us quickly find test data RMSE. So it is 187.61, almost closer. So no problem in it. So now let us quickly assign test predict to test underscore predict to predicted underscore stock dot price. So this is our predicted stock price for the 1 year data. So with the ilog command and with the test data frame, now let us pick up the close value from the NSE data set and assign it to actual or real stock price. Having found out this, now let us create the test data frame with the two new columns, actual and predicted, where we have assigned predicted stock price and real stock price along with the old columns, date, open, high, low, close, actual. So why I am creating all these separate data frames are, I'll be showing you the related graph towards the end of this video. Now let us shift the train predictions for plotting. We'll take 100-day last data, then we'll do the train predictions for plotting. Yes. So it has done now. Now we'll find out the test data. That is test underscore data. Now we'll create a new variable called list underscore input, which is a list as such, which will hold 100 records. Let us see the content for list underscore input. So here we have got 100 data. So now for the first record, see the objective of creating this list underscore input is to find the forecast for next 30 days. In order to do so, let us just take this 0.72. So now the record is 100. We are taking the first record out. Now, whenever we start executing this forecast for next 30 days, we are considering the steps as 100 and the blank list as output and the iteration as 0. So whenever the first record has been taken, the else part of this loop will be executed. For the first record alone, the else part will be executed. So it will just reshape now, after which it will predict for that record. We are finding out the y of 0. This will be added to the list underscore input that we have created now. And also it will be added to the output, the empty list that we have created. Now the iteration becomes 2, I equal to I plus 1. Now let me just show you that 100 records once again. So here, leaving out the first record. So first record is considered only for the else part of the while loop in the forecast for 30 days. Okay. So from second record until the 100th record, you will have in this list. Along with this, the new y also will be added, isn't it? So the total number of records will be 101. So our total records will be 101. Now we'll just go to the beginning of the loop. So here, when while I of I is less than 30, and if the length of list or input is greater than 100, now the list input contains 101 records. So it will not get into else part, rather it will get into the then part of this loop. So the condition is satisfied. List underscore input is greater than 100 since it contains 101 records. So the same logic also implies here. But in order to carry out the task, the list input, as we have already considered for else part, the first record should be ignored. So from that onwards, from the next record onwards, until the 101 records, it will carry out, and it will be checked out for 30 days. So the same logic we are applying, we are predicting it, and we are adding it to the existing list underscore input. Then the same way we are also appending the Hoyt to the output as well. So we are getting the prediction for 30 days. And also side by side, we are printing each day output in the specific format. The Y-hat is being displayed for each and every day. Okay, so this is the logic behind it in order to do the forecasting for the next 30 days. Now I am executing it. So you can see here, guys. So 7th day, 6th day. So each and every day you can very well have. So it is being executed. So you can see from the beginning. Okay, 16th day, like that, it is getting executed. So you are having all the outputs for 30 days. Now, as we have got 101 records in this list underscore input, we are just having the D underscore new as, with the help of NumPy, we are arranging it with from 1 to 101. The same way the prediction will be for 30 days. So it starts from 101 and ends with 131. Now we are doing the reverse, that is inverse scaling. Now we are plotting the data. Yeah. So the red line shows the forecasting for 30 days. Now let us see the combined plots of all in one. See guys, so we are just seeing the first one is historical, then comes the actual and predicted, after which a small one, which I have shown you separately in other graph. The same way here, you can see here. So this is the forecasted graph. Let me also create a separate data frame called the forecast, which consists of date and close columns alone. Now let me just give the forecast dates. Starting date of forecast, that is 1 month date. Okay. So it is 5/6/2021 and the end date is 4/7/2021. So we have entered it. Now let us do the inverse scaling for forecast.close. Moreover, historical and predicted data is plotted using candlestick, and remaining actual and forecasting are plotted using OHLC, and all these plots are made interactive with iplot command and saved with a file name stock_plots. This file will be permanently saved in Plotly under our specific user login. So we are just drawing all in one and try to save it in the separate file called stock_plots. So it is executing now. So the earlier combined graphs you people have witnessed in the same plot section of Spider. Whereas here we are getting into Plotly and in a separate file it is saving. So this we are doing it with chartstudio.plotly.com. Now I'll just explain you. Whenever you just disable the trace one, trace, see, I'll explain you first of all. The trace one, trace zero will give you the graph for historical data. So when you want to combine the actual, then I have to include trace one. So trace one is for actual data. Trace two is for predicted data. So the for 1 year data, you can very well compare how our graph is closely coming. Okay, for both actual and predicted, both are coming closely. Then for trace 3, I am disabling trace 1, trace 2, everything. Now I am showing only trace 3. So this you can adjust and have it. So you can very well see the rising trend. And one more thing you people have to understand. So the stock price ranging from 192 to 195 based on the race it is coming. So you can very well just find it for the given days. So from 5-6 to 4-7, you can very well see here. Okay, so this is how. So the last date is July 4th and the beginning date is 5th June. Okay, so that's how you can see. And whenever you place on a particular dot, you can see the related stock price. One more thing I would like to tell you, see, OHLC or the candlestick, okay, both will allow or expect us to give values for open, high, low, close. But here you can witness the same 195 appearing for all the columns. Why is that so? Means I tried to plot for close alone. It didn't allow me to display this OHLC chart. So that's the reason I have assigned close to all. Okay. So if you want to check, you have to check it out in the NSE website. But close alone, we have forecasted. So please consider the close value alone for this 1 month forecasting. Okay, so this is what I wanted to emphasize here. See, like OHLC will accept only accept the values for all open, high, low, close, like that. But here, why I have assigned a close value for all the remaining open, high, low means it does not allow me to display only the close. As the name implies, OHLC stands for open, high, low, close. So that's the reason we have assigned all close value to the remaining open, high, low. So please just ignore these three values and consider only the close value. Now let me just tell you how to combine the different plots by overlapping one with the other. So let me just highlight trace 0, the historical data. So it is loading now. So you can adjust here based on the month or the date that you want it. Even in year also you can adjust and check. Okay, so the starting date is 14 for the historical data. So we have just highlighted actual and prediction. Now I am highlighting historical as well. So it is loading. Please bear with me. Yeah, now you can see. So like starting from 14th year till 2020, you are seeing the historical data. Then why we are having the break here is we have taken 100 records in order to forecast for next 30 days. So that's the reason we have got a gap here. Nothing to do with the graph. Okay, we don't have any problem in the graph. So that's the reason it is, we have got a break here. Yes. Then we have just seen the historical. Now, let me just disable that and show you only actual and predicted. So this is for 1 year. So you can see only the actual and predicted data. So almost similar, isn't it? So this is one another witness that whatever the data we are going to forecast, okay, will be good enough along with the RMSE score. So now having seen this, let me just show you once again the forecast alone. So trace 3 will give me the forecast. So only for that month, you can extend and enlarge it so that you can see the total forecast. So it is in the stock trend is in towards the upward direction. So it is giving the trend as well. Okay. So this is how you can very well find the stock prediction along with forecasting. So towards the end also, let me remember you that this model, remind you that this model is not for investing money in trading, but intended for educational purpose alone. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm sure that you have got enough insight on how to do stock prediction and forecasting trend for any suitable stock. That is the reason I have given the title as generalized stock prediction. Okay. So in the short video, I would have told why we have used LSTM rather than recurrent neural networks, RNN. So that also you can see. Okay. Please go through this video in full to understand each and every bit of the code, and you can use it for your educational purpose. Please do watch in full, guys, to have the full-fledged knowledge in finding out the forecasting. Thanks for watching. Very soon I'll see you in the next video, guys. Meanwhile, after watching, I'm sure that you would have really liked this video. So please like, share, subscribe, and also comment. Okay, thank you one and all.